If you're on social media, you couldn't miss it. Day after day after day, people posting videos and pictures of the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Adults, teenagers, even kids dumping ice-cold water over their heads and then challenging their friends and family to do the same. The challenge went viral, spreading awareness about a disease and organization some knew very little about. So what is ALS, and how will the millions of dollars raised be spent?
Now you gotta go backwards. How you do?
It's a cruel disease with no cure, little in the way of treatment, and it ultimately kills.
Is there anything that scares you? Honestly?
Such as that. Yeah.
Donna Boring doesn't want your pity. She wants your respect. And she's here right now to let you see what ALS can do.
So life can't go on.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive degenerative disease that robs the brain and spinal cord of its nerve cells that control movement.
You learn lessons about life, don't you?
Yes. Quickly. Yes. Do what you can while you still can.
While Donna's cognitive and emotional abilities are intact, she has difficulty breathing, swallowing, and speaking. There's limited movement in her arms and hands.
Can we see you take a couple steps?
And her legs are growing weaker. But that hasn't stopped her from planning for the future, like building a new home with the love of her life.
You can't let things like this hold you back from your dreams. You just got to keep on living life to the fullest, like Donna always says.
He's real and true, and I try to pull the ALS cord, and he's like, no, I don't think so.
Donna first heard the words, "You have ALS," in March 2008.
What are you thinking about at night when you go home or when you're at home? What were you thinking about?
My kids.
Your kids. So
Looking back now, she can pinpoint the signs.
I was tripping with 3 legs, weakness in my hands.
But Donna's not alone, something she learned quickly from the Western Pennsylvania chapter of the ALS Association, a nonprofit organization which serves patients and their families in 31 counties, including our entire 6 News viewing area.
Prior to the Ice Bucket Challenge, we predict that about half of the United States knew ALS by the term ALS. They might have known it if you'd said, you know, Lou Gehrig's disease. But now, I don't think there's a single person who doesn't know ALS as ALS and is aware of how horrific and horrible it is. The second thing that it did that probably is not sustainable was raise an incredible amount of money.
$115 million in about 7 weeks, a good deal of it funding 3 new research initiatives for treatments and a cure. The money essentially tripling its research efforts, with the promise of funding those programs for the next 4 to 5 years.
A treatment and a cure has to be right around the corner, because when we are in conferences where the scientists are talking about what they're doing, the excitement over what they're finding is palpable. What excites me the most is the promise of assistive technology. The kinds of things technology can do to help people living with this disease now and change their quality of life now is absolutely amazing.
The Western Pennsylvania chapter pairs patients with that life-changing technology, plus access to ALS-certified clinics, where ALS patients get a thorough checkup from the medical specialists they require for their care.
Let's try this. Remember normal breathing at first, then take a deep breath in and puff it out.
Your Ice Bucket dollars helping to double the funding for clinics like this one in suburban Johnstown at the John P. Murtha Neuroscience and Pain Institute.
scientifically proven to prolong the lives of ALS patients by 1 year. The association will also have opened 17 more across the country by next month. The ALS Association is funneling $500,000 into patient advocacy and is also reinvesting the Ice Bucket money back into its chapters nationwide. And soon, as a direct result, the Western Pennsylvania chapter will be offering 2 new programs. First, professional in-home caregiver training.
I could use the caregiver training myself because sometimes I don't know how to help Donna the proper way. So, to be honest with you, I kind of step back.
The second new program, grief counseling for families. Donna tells me knowing her loved ones will be taken care of brings her some comfort.
I want to be known and be remembered as the, sassy girl that I've always been.
So you want to be remembered as the sassy girl you've always been?
Since birth.
The ALS Association has been rated by several independent organizations that monitor the activities of charities with high levels of achievement in regard to its financial practices. The ALS Association knows it can never replicate the Ice Bucket Challenge, but what it will strive to sustain is the level of concern the Ice Bucket Challenge inspired about the disease. I'm told the Ice Bucket money will run out in 2019. But the association's Walk to Defeat ALS will be back next year. The walk in Johnstown has doubled in size. It's a very successful fundraiser. Donna Boring's team is called Donna's Divas, and the diva would be more than happy to sign you up. The 2015 Walk to Defeat ALS is set for August 1st at Pitt Johnstown. To learn more about ALS and the association, go to our website, wjactv.com.